Hello, everybody on Zoom and Instagram land. Welcome to Wednesday night yoga with Kathleen and Steven. I do the yoga teaching and he does the great live music. Tonight we are focusing on, we are inspired by the Yani Mudra. The Yani Mudra is the gesture of the womb, with the core quality of the female reproductive health, but we're really using the inspiration of this mudra to focus on the feminine aspect that resides within all of us, male or female. We all have a feminine aspect and a masculine aspect, and something probably somewhere in between. But you can think of it as the yin and the yang. The sun is aligned with the masculine, the moon is aligned with the feminine. And so in reality, we aren't all just totally female or totally male in all the ways that we are. So I really liken this mudra to aspects of our nurturing being, aspects of our expressive emotional being, aspects of our willingness to be vulnerable, and a little bit soft in our approach to life, which we all need to do. We all must have discernment and not always take a strength position, but sometimes take a more softened way in the world. But I'm also using this to talk about the reality that all of us, male or female, really need to encourage others to be expressive of who they're going to be in this world, to be expressive of the things that they feel, for it to be acceptable to have fears, to have anxieties, to have a variety of feelings, for all of us to develop a rich emotional vocabulary. And in our society, men are not encouraged to do that. So this class is not only for women, it is also for men, so that we can focus on becoming in touch with those aspects of our being. So this mudra, being that it is aligned with our reproductive system and our urinary system, it is located, we're going to be focusing on the sacral chakra, but also the root chakra. And the reason I want to focus on the root chakra as well is that it helps us to connect with our nurturing selves and why we nurture. We nurture to create a sense of hearth and home, security and safety, a sense that our needs and those of others are well met. And so we will be visualizing on both of these chakras tonight. So to take this mudra, we will interlock our fingers from the top and create a little steeple with our index fingers. And instead of creating the little doors of the steeple with our thumbs, we're going to turn our thumbs downward. So this is the Yani Mudra, Yani spelled Y-O-N-I. So I had to giggle a little bit when I saw this mudra card come up, because we all know what typically the word Yani has represented, and it's usually kind of like a metaphor, sort of a slangish metaphor, sort of said in a funny way, but in reality it's a real word. Isn't that funny how life goes? So join me right now on the mat. You may sit up on a bolster. You may sit all the way down on the mat, but I always recommend sitting up on a bolster, because when we sit on a bolster, we are able to elevate the hips up, lift up the heart center, allow the shoulders to fall down. And when we do that, we have beautiful, beautiful posture. And when we have beautiful, beautiful posture, we have free movement of air and energy up and down the body, from our lowest chakra or the base of our spine all the way up to the highest chakra or the crown of the head. So let's take a moment and take the Yani Mudra and draw our elbows close to the heart, or close to the rib cage, Our hands resting right in front of the heart in this mudra. Close your eyes if you choose and begin to breathe in and out of your nose. Try to focus on breath that is smooth and silky. And take your time with that breath, inhaling slowly and exhaling even slower. As you take your position, your posture, I invite you to create strength in the posture and softness in your edges. Think of this as a metaphor of what we ask people in nurturing roles to do all the time. We ask them to have strength in their fortitude and their form, but they also need to have a softness with those around them to be nurturing. They may have to be fighters to be good advocates, but then softer around the edges to carry out the love for their child, their loved one, their pet, whatever it is. So try to find ease in that effort of sitting tall, creating length in the neck, creating length in the spine. And at the same time, find comfort in this pose. As you breathe in and out, expand the belly on the inhalation. And then draw it back in on the exhalation. Breathe in deeply. And exhale. Drawing your attention to the root chakra. This is the chakra that governs our creation of a sense of stability and safety and security. In this root chakra, we seek the confidence that all of our needs are met. As nurturers, we seek to create that for those who we love, for those who are in our charge. Moving into the sacral chakra immediately above the root chakra. This chakra is often called the go with the flow chakra. This chakra governs our ability to be like water, to be fluid in our movement through the world, to find creative ways and solutions through the things that are presented to us in nature. So while you are breathing in and out, allow me to read to you the affirmation that goes with this mudra. Attuned to the rhythms of my inner being, I live with a greater harmony and fluidity. So focusing on this idea of being like water, of going with the flow, of finding a way to get all things done. Thinking of this, isn't that what we do when we are caring for other beings? We may be presented with lots of challenges, lots of demands, and we find creative ways to get it all accomplished. It's quite miraculous. And maybe we have to change our expectations in order to do that. Maybe we have to release our attachments to do that. And maybe when we are able to do those things, we find harmony within ourselves and with the world in which we live and those who are in it. Take another nice, long, and beautiful inhale. And exhale, release this mudra. Open up your eyes and find a fixed point to gaze. Inhale our hands out and up. And exhale them out and down. Inhale the hands out and up. And exhale out and down. One more inhale out and up. And exhale out and down. Sit up as tall as you can in this posture. Enjoy this last moment of sitting before we move into our flow. So let's remove our bolster or block or whatever you may be sitting on if you are at home. And I actually don't need these blocks because this is our Hatha class and I usually don't do props. So put that up there, move that out of the way so I don't crush my head on it. Okay, so let's go into tabletop. And in tabletop, what I want you to do is really focus on points of alignment, wrists directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. Draw the crown of your head forward as you draw your shoulders back. Feel the strengthening of your core muscles and the lengthening of your waist. Inhale into cow by dropping the belly and lifting up the sits bones as you draw your shoulders down the back away from the ears, lifting up the heart center. Exhale, reversing all of that, moving into cat. Draw your back up to the ceiling. Inhale, lifting up the heart center, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, lifting up the sits bones as you drop the belly. And exhale, reversing all of that into cat, drawing your back up to the ceiling. Inhale, drop the belly as you move into cow. And exhale, returning to neutral. Sit back ever so briefly to stretch out your feet. Just sitting on your heels for just a moment. We should stretch out our feet in every class we take. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. And inhale, rise up as we move into a moon salutation. So why a moon salutation? Because the moon is aligned with the feminine. And when we talk about the sun and we talk about the moon, they both are associated with the masculine and the feminine. So the moon is associated with the feminine. Think of the moon goddess, and we will be celebrating the goddess tonight. Inhale our hands out and up, overhead. They reach each other. Exhale. Inhale, raise up the heart, grow the body long, and exhale, curling your body to the left, stretching out your right side body. Inhale, rise up. And then on your exhale, bring your arms out to goddess form. Bring your legs out to goddess form. And then take the goddess squat. Make sure that your knees are in alignment with your feet. Make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your hips. The further apart your feet are, the more you can go down in this squat. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Inhale, rise up into star. And then exhale, turn your right toes forward. Keep your left toes pointed towards the back of your mat. And then dip down into triangle pose. In triangle pose, find your point that's comfortable to you. You can have your hand on the floor in the front of your leg, in the back of your leg, on top of your foot or ankle, even way up high on your shin or on your thigh, whatever works best for you. Whatever you do, though, once you arrive, we don't want to crunch this side up. We want to draw the crown of the head away from your back hip and then rotate your heart center up, drawing that right shoulder back. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring your right hand down and move into a lunge. I have to move into the middle of my mat. So move into a lunge. Draw your heart center forward, draw your crown of your head forward. And then on your exhale, turn your left toes forward and move into Skandasana. Take a nice inhale, lifting up your heart center. You can even bring your hands to heart center or out to the side. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, let's move into Malasana. We also call this yogi squat. Take a nice inhale, lifting up your heart center. And then on your exhale, let's move into Skandasana on that side. I just lost my balance for just a moment because I don't do it the same way on each side. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, bringing your right foot forward into that lunge that we were in before. Lifting up the heart, drawing the heart and the crown of the head forward. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, move back into that triangle pose on that side. Inhale. And then on your exhale, move into goddess pose. Rise up into star. And then on your exhale, bring your feet together on the other side. Hands up overhead. And then on your exhale, curl to your right in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Rise up on the inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down and bring them back to heart center. Let's do that again. Take an inhale. Exhale your hands down and then inhale your hands up. Exhale, curl to the right. Inhale, rise up. And then exhale, open up into goddess pose. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise up into star. And then exhale, drop down to the right in triangle pose. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, bring your left hand down. Move into a lunge on that side. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, turn your right toes forward as you move into Skandasana. Perhaps rise up, perhaps bring your hands out to the side. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, move into yogi squat or malasana. Take a beautiful inhale. And then on your exhale, we're going to move into Skandasana on the other side. Bring your hands out, take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, hands down. Move into triangle pose on that side. Actually, we'll start off in the lunge and then move into triangle. So lunge. And then on your exhale, move into triangle pose. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, rise up, move into goddess. Inhale, rise up into star. And then exhale, moving your feet back together, hands overhead, and exhale to the left. Rise up and exhale your hands down, bringing your hands to heart center. Isn't that ever so lovely? So let's turn to face the top of the mat, and we will go through some vinyasa flows that involve some warrior poses. Inhale our hands out and up. Exhale our hands out and down. Swan dive forward, drawing your heart center down as you drop your head. Inhale into a flat spine. Exhale down, taking our right foot back in warrior one, and then rise up. Exhale, bend your front leg deeply as you draw your arm bones back Inhale, and then exhale, opening up in to warrior two. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, moving back into peaceful warrior. Drop your right hand, bring your left arm overhead, perhaps even bring it back towards your foot behind you. Take a beautiful inhale and exhale, moving into extended side angle pose. Bring your right arm up, draw your shoulder blade down your back, and then bring your arm overhead alongside your ear. Take a nice inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down, rise up into warrior two, and then circle your hands down, moving back into plank pose. Hold this plank for 3 breaths. One more breath. And exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling in to upward facing dog. As you move into upward facing dog, your hips are off the floor. Move your hips forward as you draw your heart center up. And then exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, move your hips up and back. Inhale. Exhale, grip the floor firmly with your hands and push the mat away. Inhale. On your exhale, widen your collarbones. Draw your belly button in. Take another inhale. And then exhale, take little baby steps. Walk all the way up to the top of the mat. And just hang here in ragdoll for just a moment. Allowing the weight of your cranium to pull down and pull out all the tension from your neck. Take a beautiful inhale. And then on your exhale, drop your hands, bend your knees deeply, and roll up one vertebrae at a time. When you arrive at the top, inhale your shoulders up, and exhale, bring them down, moving back into Tadasana at the top of the mat. Inhale your hands out and up. And then on your exhale, swan dive forward, leading with the heart as you forward fold into Uttanasana. Drop your crown. Inhale into a flat spine, and exhale, take your left foot back into warrior one. Inhale your heart center up. Bringing your arms up alongside your ears. Bend your right leg deeply. Draw your belly button in to protect your spine. And lift up your heart center. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, we're moving into downward facing dog again. A nice deep bend of your front leg. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, reverse that. Right arm comes up as we move into peaceful warrior. Curling perhaps towards the back. Inhale. Exhale, rotate your heart center up. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, moving into extended side angle. Right hand to the floor or to the knee. Bend your right leg deeply. Left arm overhead and then bring it alongside your left ear. Rotate your heart center up. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, circle your left hand down, rising up into warrior two. Take a beautiful inhale. And exhale, circle the hands down. Once again, moving back into that plank pose. Move your heart center forward, shining the heart forward, keeping your body lifted. Breathe 3 times. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. And then exhale, move back in to downward facing dog. Take a beautiful inhale. On your exhale, lift out of your shoulders, moving your hips backwards and up. Draw your shoulders away from your ears. Take a nice inhale. And exhale, extend as far as you can in your dog. Take another inhale. Exhale, rise up high on your tippy toes. Bend your legs and hop up to the front of the mat. But stay in a bit of a squat. So you're lifted up on your toes and you've got your legs together. Lift your buttocks off of your heels, so don't sink down. Rise up, using the strength of your legs to rise up. And then I have a challenge for you. So stay here for just a moment. Inhaling, exhaling. And then on your inhale, rise up, staying on your tippy toes the whole time. Rise up as high as you can on your tippy toes. Stay still if you can. I'm moving. And then exhale, drop your heels down, drop your hands down and bring them back to heart center. So when we're talking our way through poses, we don't always have the concentration, but I hope you were successful at home. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, your hands down. Inhale, your hands up. Exhale, bring them back to heart center and take your right foot back. Setting up once again for a triangle series. So turn your right foot so it's parallel with the back of the mat. Create plenty of space between your front leg and your back leg. Take this opportunity to rise up, lifting up the heart center, creating length in your spine by growing it tall to the ceiling. Rotate your left inner thigh up so that your kneecap is facing the ceiling. And then bring your hands out. Take a beautiful inhale. And then exhale, move your whole body forward, leading with your left arm over that left leg, and then drop into triangle pose again. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, turn towards your left foot, bringing your right foot hand down to the mat. Bring your right foot in just ever so slightly so that we can set up for pyramid pose. Inhale. And on your exhale, leading with your heart, heart goes out and then down as you fold over your left leg, looking at your second toe. Take an inhale and exhale, leading with the heart, extending your body over your leg. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Take your arms, extend them in front of you, and inhale your way all the way up. Exhale, take your hands out to the sides into reverse prayer at your back. Maybe you do reverse fists instead of actual prayer. That's okay. Maybe you hold your elbows or your forearms. That's okay. Lift up your heart center. And on your exhale, lift up and out as you curl over your hands. A little bit of a back bend, exposing the throat, exposing the heart center. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, rise up. Release your hands and bring your left arm, leave your left hand on your left hip. Bring your right arm up. And then on your exhale, extend it out, forward and down as we go into revolve triangle. Twisting your body to the left, lift up your left arm if it's available to you. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Inhale again. And exhale, draw your left shoulder to stack it on top of your right shoulder. Take another inhale. And then exhale, bring your left hand down. Bend your left foot as we set up for half moon. Again, balancing half moon. Left hand out in front of your left foot off to the left. Lift up. First, let's start off in what looks like warrior three. Take your right arm to your right hip and then rotate that hip bone up. As you rotate up, draw your right shoulder back, stacking it over your left shoulder, and then lift your leg a little bit more. Keeping your right leg very strong and straight. You can have a little bit of a bend in your left leg. Bring your right arm up if it's available to you. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend your left leg. Drop your right foot back. And let's rise up into warrior one. Exhale, circle our hands down. Move back through Vinyasa. Lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, move back to downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, bend your legs. Hop up to the front. Let's do it again. Let's stay up high on our toes. Press our legs together. Lift our hips up in this crouched position. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower your hands down, and then inhale, rise up, staying on your tippy toes, rising up into Tadasana, standing on your tippy toes, hands extended above. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, lower the heels, bring your hands down to heart center, and then take your left foot back as we set up once again for triangle. Turning your left foot parallel with the mat behind you, right toes pointed towards the front of the mat. Take this opportunity to rotate your inner right thigh, spiraling it up so that your kneecap is facing the ceiling. Bring your hands out. Inhale. And then on your exhale, fall into your triangle, reaching over your right leg, then bringing your hand down. Take an inhale. On your exhale, revolve your left shoulder back, drawing your right shoulder under. Take a nice inhale. And exhale. Go for length from crown all the way to the back of your left hip. Take an inhale. And exhale. Draw your left hand down as we set up your pyramid. Bring your left foot in ever so slightly. Inhale, draw the crown of your head very, very long. Exhale. Inhale, draw the heart center out. And then exhale, allow your body to descend over your right leg. Inhale. Exhale, continue to draw the heart center forward and out, and then down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Take your arms out in front alongside your ears as you rise up, arms and body all at once on your inhale. On your exhale, hands circle down. You can grab each of your forearms. You can put your fists together. You can go for reverse prayer. In this position, lift up your heart, lift up your whole body up and out of the hips. And then on your exhale, curl back over, small arch in your upper back. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, rise up, release your hands. Right hand on your right hip, bring your left arm up alongside your left ear, and then reach forward as we go into revolve triangle. Turning our body to the right. Draw the right shoulder back so that it's over the left shoulder, and then raise up your right arm. Take a nice inhale and fully exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, bend your right leg a little bit. Right arm out to the side and in front of your right foot. Take your left arm or left hand to your left hip and then rotate that hip up. Lift up your left leg, keeping it strong and straight. Draw back your left shoulder. When you feel strong in this pose, then raise up your right arm. Continue to lift your left leg, keeping it strong and straight. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And then exhale with grace and control. Bend your right leg. Bring your left leg back into warrior one feet. Bring your arms up on warrior one. Exhale, circle the hands down. Bringing your left foot back to join the right. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga. And then inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Take a nice inhale. And exhale, moving your hips back, drawing your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale. And exhale. Take a long inhale. And then exhale, let's take a little break. Drop our knees down to the mat. Move our feet away from each other and sit down in between our feet in hero pose. Now, if you want to at home, you can recline in hero. The choice is yours. I'm going to stay sitting up. But while you're in hero, you can massage your feet just a little bit. You can work on stretching out the tops of your feet. The choice is yours. But when we are in hero, what are we doing? Well, there is no greater expression of fluidity than sitting in hero pose. Here you've got your hips rotated inward, a very deep bend in the knees. You're stretching out the tops of your feet. There's a lot happening in hero pose here. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale. Let's rise up and let's stand. One expression of the strength of a woman, embracing our feminine side, is to take dancer pose. So let's stand with our feet together in Tadasana. Reach back and grab your right foot. Again, pretend that you're still in Tadasana, only you're holding your right foot, when in fact you are actually still in Tadasana, holding your right foot. I do recommend that you hold your foot on the inside of the arch. And at this moment in time, just focus on balance and focus on standing as tall as you can to have a nice strength going on in your core and in your pelvic floor. Place your right arm in front of you and then start to kick your right foot back. Continue to kick, drawing that right foot up as you reach your left. Oops, I fell out of my pose. Sorry, everybody. This happens when you're talking, looking at yourself on camera, getting distracted. Balancing poses are really good for meditation because you can't think about anything else except balancing. So anyway, continue to kick back. Find your balancing point. Take a nice inhale. And then exhale, let's release that back down. Hands to heart center. And then drop that foot. Wiggle it out. Let's take Tadasana again. And then reach back and grab our left foot. And so while we're standing here, again, focus on strengthening your pelvis floor, drawing the belly button in, lifting up the heart center. Bringing your right foot out in front, or your right hand out in front. Take a nice inhale. And then on your exhale, start to lean forward as you kick your left foot back, drawing your hand forward at the same time. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, rise up with control. Returning back to Tadasana, hands to heart center, drop your foot. So this is a wonderful expression, which you saw in me, that there are just days you're not going to have the balance that you may want to have. You need to learn to laugh at that and say to yourself, one, it's only yoga, and it's only yoga this day, and it's only this one pose, and it's all an opportunity to learn about yourself. That's what yoga is all about. And I'm a little out of breath because we've been doing some slow, long holds and some power moves. So what can we say? So let's go ahead and take Malasana again. Malasana is such a marvelous expression of the feminine, and it really focuses on allowing our pelvis floor to fully relax, creating as much length as we can from tailbone all the way to the crown of the head, moving our energy into the back, resting our weight in our heels. But in this pose, you know, American chairs, Western furniture is so really detrimental to the health of our spine, particularly our lower back. And this is like a counter pose to the damage we do with Western furniture. Don't you agree, Steven? Chairs are like the worst thing, aren't they? Chairs and driving seats in cars. I mean, they're all just so bad for us. So this is the counter to that, man. And if you can find yourself in Malasana every day for a little while, you will do so much good for your spine. But while we're here, if you want to join me, I'm going to go ahead and move into crow pose. So I'm going to lift up just slightly, try to get my knees into my armpits, and then just lean forward in my effort here. So you can almost balance forever once you have found the right positioning for your knees. And if you want to make it even stronger, you can put your soles of your feet together. It's a little trick I taught Steven. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, release out of that, and move back into Malasana. So I don't teach a lot of inversions. I don't teach a lot of arm balances because frankly, I'm not good at most of them. But you can have a very satisfying yoga practice without those kind of poses. I've really never had anybody to train me on how to move into them. And yoga's a journey, and maybe one day I'll do really advanced arm moves, and maybe I won't, and it won't change my practice. Take a nice inhale, and then on your exhale, just sit back, and let's take bound angle. So your flow can be whatever you want to make your flow. You can flip around and do all kinds of great stuff, be very acrobatic. You can keep your flow low to the ground. You can be up, you can be down, you can make it whatever you want. One thing is for sure, almost every pose can transition to another pose. No worries there. Let's inhale. And then on the exhale, let's draw the heart center forward. Let's open up the knees, create a hip opener. Take an inhale and exhale, drawing the heart center forward. Inhale, rise up. And let's move into what they call deer pose. Left foot in front, right knee behind. Front leg and left leg are actually parallel with each other, even though they're apart. You're getting a very strong inner rotation of this left hip. So in order to open up our hips, we really try to create rotation in all directions with various different poses. And that's really good for releasing tension. That's good for keeping the joints fluid. That's also good for keeping you from developing muscular patterns that can lead to injury later. So these releases are very good for you. Take a nice inhale, pushing this hip forward by lifting up your right sits bone. And exhale, bring it back down. And let's inhale the hip up. And exhale, bring it back down. And let's inhale it back up again. And exhale, bring it back down. Let's move into pigeon pose. So I'm going to turn my body just a little bit so you can see me differently on the camera. My right shin remains parallel to what would be the front of the mat, but I'm on a round mat, as you know. Bring your right foot back. Bring it behind you so that your knee is facing the floor and you're getting a nice stretch on the outside of this left hip. Now, you might notice a lot of times in pigeon, we're not resting that hip down. We can, but you can use pigeon in a variety of ways. And I find that in pigeon, you can get a passive stretch and an active stretch. So let's go for the active for now. Tuck your toes. Isometrically draw your knees together, which is going to lift your hips up a little bit, and then rise up. Now, this may not look like it's taking a lot of strength, but it actually took me many years to develop this kind of stability by not having one hand down or the other while drawing my knees together. I'm getting a nice, amazing stretch of my right psoas, and I'm feeling strengthening of my back at the same time. Take a nice inhale, and then exhale, circle our hands down. Now you can allow that right leg to go back as far as you desire. You can even sit on that left hip if you want to. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, start to fold over your left leg. If you want to bring your hands out in front of you, you certainly may do that. You also may just bring them out to the sides and rest your forehead on your hands. You can do whatever you want. Focus on how you feel. Are you getting a satisfying stretch on the outside of your left hip? Is your right psoas opening up? We can move our bodies certainly close to the leg without extending our arms, and for some people, shoulders are an issue. So this is one way that we can get around that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take an inhale, rise up slightly, and thread your right arm underneath your left, and then bring your hands together in prayer pose. So you're still laying across this left leg, but you are also stretching out the back of your right shoulder. Take a nice inhale and exhale. You don't have to take this twist, this rotation. You can stay in the other form that we had. You are free to back out of this if this is too much for you. Reach back and grab your left leg or left foot with your left hand, and then deepen your twist even more by stretching out your left quad, drawing your foot closer to your right hip, and laying in such a way that you're still stretching out your left hip. This is the pretzel version. Take a nice inhale. Exhale with control. Release that left leg down. Don't let it spring. Rise up with your left arm. Stretch out just again, lifting up the heart center. And then on your exhale, let's sit back down on that left hip. And then bring our right foot forward and our left foot back. So that again, once again, the two legs are parallel with each other, and we are in deer pose now, sitting on our right hip. Our left sit bone is not touching the floor. Use this as an opportunity when you lift up that sit bone to stretch out the front of this left hip. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift up your heart center. And then on your exhale, bring your left sit bone down. Inhale, lift it up, moving your hip forward. And exhale, bringing it down. One more inhale, lifting up that hip. And then on your exhale, take your left leg backwards, setting up again for pigeon. And we're going to do that active stretch in pigeon, remember? So we isometrically draw our knees together, keep our toes tucked, and bring our arms up. And you will feel a strengthening of your back. You have to use a lot of core muscles and all of your pelvic floor muscles for this to work. Take a nice inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale, circle your hands down. And now you're free to stretch out in any way that you want to with this pose. So I'm actually allowing my right hip to draw down to the floor as I bring my left foot back even more. Take a beautiful inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead and lay over that right leg. Do whatever you want with your arms. Feel free to take modifications if your shoulders aren't happy. You can place your forehead on your hands. You can stretch your arms out in front. The choice is yours. This is my less open side, so I really feel a deep stretch in my right hip. Take a nice inhale. On your exhale, reach your right hand forward and circle your left hand underneath or threaded underneath your right hand. So now I'm laying across the upper side of my left arm, right hand reaching forward, deep stretch in my right hip. Even my hands can come together in prayer. You can do whatever you want with your hands. Take a nice inhale and exhale. Take another inhale. On your exhale, bend your left leg, reach back and grab your left foot with your right hand, drawing that left foot close to your left hip as you stretch out your quadricep on that side. So this is the deep pretzel version of this. You're not required to do any of these extensions. You can just stay in pigeon if you like that best. Take a nice inhale. Fully exhale. Twist your right shoulder back. One more inhale. And then exhale. Release that with control. And rise up. And then let's sit back on that right hip and bring our left foot around and sit in staff pose. I try to include staff almost every time I make it down to the floor. And why do I do that? Because staff is such an important pose for teaching our body to be nice and tall and strong throughout our core. It teaches us to strengthen our hip flexors. It takes a lot in order to have our legs on the floor and be in an L shape with the body. And when we're sitting in this pose, look at that posture that we're trying to achieve. A nice, long, straight back. You can do so much from this point. Let's take our little fingers, wrap them around our toes. And if you are ready, let's do the most extended version of boat pose. So find your balancing point on your sit bones. Keep your back straight as you straighten out your legs. Take a nice inhale, exhale, draw your shoulders down. Inhale, exhale, straighten out your legs if you can. One more inhale, and then exhale, bring your feet back and bend the ankle again. Grab your feet and draw your heart center forward as you draw your knees down. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, rise up. Bring your feet together, move them forward, and let's make our way down into Shavasana. It's hard to believe, but an entire hour has already passed. So your palms should be facing the ceiling. Extend your legs out or keep them in bound ankle if that makes you happier. Sometimes people will start off Shavasana with their legs in one way and then stretch them out as they get more deep into their relaxation. Sometimes it's difficult to rest these muscles after you've been working them for an hour. While you're laying here in Shavasana, I invite you to do a scan of your entire body, looking for any points where you may feel stuck Looking for any points where you may feel tension. Looking for any points where energy and breath are not freely moving. Try to become as still as possible. And again, as you lay here in your final resting pose, I invite you to focus your attention on the root chakra. Focus your attention on the sacral chakra. And as you rest here, I invite you to connect with the struggles that we may have as nurturers, as caretakers, in embracing our feminine side. It is intricately connected with that aspect of our being. I invite you to give yourself permission for self-care in the midst of your responsibilities and desire to care for others. I invite you to love yourself unconditionally. I invite you to express that love, not just in emotion, but in act. Taking the action of love through self-care, through affirmations, through doing kind things for yourself. I invite you to become comfortable with your vulnerabilities. Those things that make us vulnerable also make us strong. Remember that you have the strength of the tree that bends and blows in the wind, shows that fluidity and that flexibility, and still stands strong. That's who you are. That's how you're made. When you don't feel strong inside, remind yourself that you are, in fact, strong inside. The fact that you can even admit it out loud is your strength. I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you want. Inhaling and exhaling, falling into deep relaxation. Steven and I will be here next week, same time. We invite you to join us every week for Hatha Vinyasa, giving back to yourself. The light in me sees the light in you. The yogi in me honors the yogi in you. Namaste, and have a beautiful night and a beautiful restful sleep.